imagine that you can go anywhere on the planet and paint anywhere you'd like. It's quite a nice idea, and it might not be as far away as you think. So, recently for Christmas, I got a MetaQuest headset. It's a VR thingy, and I've been hopping in not to play copious amounts of Beat Saber um, or anything else, but to paint, right? And the main reason I wanted to buy the VR headset was to paint. I knew this was something that I wanted to do for a while, so it's quite nice that I get to explore it now. In this video, I'm just sort of flying around Google Earth in VR, and the freedom you have to soar through the sky and perch yourself on top of mountains or in the bottom of valleys or all sorts of different places from Colorado to like really snowy rocks like this is kind of insane. Now you might ask yourself, Joe, what's the difference between this and painting from images? You've always been able to find images from different places on Earth. Well, I'm a big fan of life drawing. When you do life drawing, you use both of your eyes, right? You use your binocular vision, and what that means is you're seeing two versions of what's in front of you at the same time from different distances, and your brain sort of passes that information and gives you something that feels 3D and feels as though you're there. It's a very, very different experience to painting from a photograph. It's quite difficult to describe unless you've done it, but I think anyone who's done life drawing or drawn or painted from photos will understand what that difference feels like. And I have to say, after doing 4 or 5 paintings in VR now, it really does feel like I'm sat doing it from life. Obviously, some of the lighting is a little bit inconsistent, some of the textures are a bit low resolution, but the experience itself is like I'm doing a plein air, which I'm really, really, really enjoying. I'm just using Photoshop, so I'm using a floating desktop window in the Meta app. It's free, I don't have to pay any more for that. I'm not using like a specific VR painting program or even like a program on my computer that allows me to bring up this window. It's all built in and it all comes as default. And then I sort of just approach it how I would approach it if I were sat on a hill, right? So I'm just doing a little line sketch like I would in a sketchbook, filling in those spaces with indications of sort of vague value and color temperature. You'll notice I start looking around myself quite a bit. It's sort of a force of habit. Maybe I'm quite a nervous person that I want to see if anyone's behind me. But you can't help yourself but sort of look around and admire the place that you're at. Google Earth in VR has some different capabilities, so you can change the time of day. You can save specific locations, so you could start a painting and come back to it. I could approach this painting from multiple angles. You can enter like Google Street View images. Now, the reason that I haven't done that yet, and the reason I'm staying in this sort of low resolution geometry world instead, is because as soon as you enter those HDRI Google Street View images, you're no longer getting that benefit of it being 3D, because it does become a 2D image that's surrounding you. So I'm quite happy with this as it stands. It's something that if you have a VR headset, I believe that this can work on any headset. I went for one of the newer ones because I wanted to treat myself after a good year of studying. But I also have one of the oldest Oculus Rift headsets that I'm sure you can get on Facebook Marketplace for very, very cheap at this point. And it works in that too, because you're running Google Earth VR off the computer that you're plugged into. So the headset's not running anything there. All you need is a display, and then you're not painting with the VR controllers or anything like that. I'm literally sat at my desk with my graphics tablet in front of me, painting as I normally would, except for it feels as though I'm in a sort of different space, which is just wonderful. It's quite dark at the moment. It's winter time. You know, we're going into January and February, and hopefully it'll brighten up soon. And if you're anything like me, you hate the darkness. I come downstairs at about 6 in the morning, so I can do a bit of painting before I go to work, and it's pitch black. So to be able to transport myself to the west coast of Portugal, and plonk myself down on a cliff and paint what's around me is really, really quite wonderful. Now, this is just the start. It was the simplest thing that I already had downloaded or anything else on the headset, but the potential here is kind of limitless, and it's something I really want to play around with in future. So the next plan, which I'll probably make a video on, is I want to design and create a VR space in Unreal Engine 5, and I want to model that space after maybe like John Singer Sargent's studio that he used to do his painting in. So I want to make myself a studio where I can manipulate the lighting, I can import models, I can just paint whatever I like, and I get the benefit, or some of the benefit, of life drawing, but with this crazy level of accessibility where I can just hop in at any time from my desk at home, and I can do whatever I like. So it's been a short video. I just wanted to show off this really cool thing that I found, and something that I want to play around with in future. Here are some of the paintings I've done so far. You can see, I think at least, that the way that I paint, the very scratchy stuff I'm doing, really shows through when I'm doing something as though I'm painting it from life. You sort of default to your very base, intuitive way that you might paint. That's the one from this video. And then here's one I did just the other day, and it's maybe a different time of day and a bit more of an interesting angle, so plenty to play around with. If you're not already in the public Discord server, join. It's free, you may as well. And there's a Patreon Discord server as well, if you want specific feedback or just to chat and do the sort of daily prompts that we have going on there. I'm committing myself this year to making more videos. I'm on track so far, but it would really help if you put any sort of suggestions of things that you want to see from me in the comments. A lot of the time I sort of think of ideas like how to draw a head, and then I think, well, it's been done so many times that I'm not going to add anything there. But if that's something that you want to see, if you want to see how I personally would do something that everyone else has already covered, then please let me know, and I'll get on it. Okay? Have a good day.